More than 40% of adults over 60 are living with cataracts. Nearly 3 million Americans are affected by glaucoma, and millions more are slowly losing their vision without even knowing it. These aren't just numbers, they're warning signs. Because here's the truth. Most people don't realize they're going blind until it's too late. Maybe you've noticed your vision isn't as sharp lately. Do you struggle to read labels at the grocery store? Does driving at night feel risky? Are you constantly moving your head to catch better lighting when reading the mail? At first it seems small, but these little changes often signal that something much bigger is happening inside your eyes. If you're living with diabetes, the risk is even higher. High blood sugar quietly damages the small blood vessels in the eyes, often with no symptoms at all. There's no pain, no redness, no alarm bells, until suddenly the world around you starts to fade. Have you ever found yourself blaming age or bad lighting or old glasses for your vision problems? And while those might play a role, the real enemy is far more silent and far more dangerous. Cataracts and glaucoma don't knock on your door. They sneak in. And when they take hold, they don't just blur your vision, they blur your freedom. Reading, cooking, watching television, recognizing faces, and even walking safely becomes harder. It can feel like the world is slipping away slowly, and then all at once. But here's what I need you to hear. This is not inevitable. Vision loss is not just a part of aging. It's a process, and it can be slowed, even stopped, if you act early enough. There are nutrients, simple vitamins you can find in everyday foods that help protect your eyes. They are backed by science, affordable, natural, and incredibly powerful. In the next few minutes, I'll walk you through the 6 most important vision-saving nutrients and exactly how to use them. If you've ever worried about losing your sight, or if someone you love has, this could be one of the most important videos you watch this year. And if you find this helpful, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. That way, you won't miss practical advice that could change the way you age, one small habit at a time. Now let's take a closer look at the very first nutrient on the list, one that doesn't just support your eyes, but protects them where it matters most. Let's start with something incredibly simple, vitamin D. You might think of vitamin D as just the sunshine vitamin, but very few people realize how deeply it impacts your eye health, especially when it comes to glaucoma and cataracts. In recent years, researchers have found that people with low vitamin D levels are significantly more likely to develop both conditions. And the reason is clear. Vitamin D plays a quiet but powerful role in how your eyes function. First, it helps regulate calcium levels in your body. This might sound unrelated at first, but calcium balance is actually essential for maintaining proper eye pressure. When pressure builds up inside the eye, it can damage the optic nerve. That's exactly what happens in glaucoma. Second, vitamin D has a unique ability to calm down inflammation. Chronic inflammation, especially in the eyes, can slowly damage delicate tissues, including the optic nerve and retina. Over time, this inflammation eats away at your vision. So what happens when you're deficient? The body loses one of its key tools for controlling eye pressure and for managing inflammation before it spirals out of control. That's why low vitamin D doesn't just make you feel tired or achy. It puts your vision at risk, especially if you're living with diabetes. Now here's the good news. Vitamin D is one of the easiest vitamins to get if you know where to look. Just 15 to 30 minutes of sun exposure a few times a week can help your skin make it naturally. But I know that's not always possible, especially during the winter or for those who spend more time indoors. That's where food becomes your ally. Some of the best dietary sources of vitamin D include fatty fish like salmon sardines and mackerel egg yolks, and fortified foods like milk and cereal. But there's one more piece of the puzzle, and this is where many people get it wrong. Your body needs magnesium in order to absorb and activate vitamin D properly. Without enough magnesium, your body can't fully use the vitamin D you're taking in, no matter how much sunshine or salmon you get. That's why I often tell my older patients, if you're boosting your vitamin D, pair it with magnesium-rich foods like almonds, pumpkin seeds, or spinach. It's a simple combo that makes a powerful difference. So here's what you can do today. Step outside for a short walk in the sun. Add some salmon or eggs to your weekly meals. Toss a handful of nuts or seeds into your salad. These are small, realistic steps, but over time, they help protect your vision where it matters most. And remember, it's not about chasing perfection. It's about taking control of what you can with what you have right now. In the next part, we'll explore another powerful nutrient one that comes from both plants and fish and how it nourishes the most delicate part of your eye, the retina. If there's one nutrient I wish more older adults understood, it's omega-3 fatty acids. Because when it comes to protecting your eyesight, especially from macular degeneration and glaucoma, omega-3s are not optional. They are essential. The retina is the thin layer of tissue at the back of your eye responsible for turning light into the images your brain can understand. It's incredibly delicate. As we age, the retina becomes more vulnerable to inflammation damage and poor blood flow. That's where omega-3s step in. One type in particular, DHA, is a structural building block of the retina itself. Without enough of it, retinal cells weaken, vision becomes less sharp, and damage can creep in faster than you expect. Another form, EPA, works to reduce inflammation. It helps keep blood vessels flexible and supports healthy circulation to the eye. That's critical, especially in conditions like glaucoma, where blood flow to the optic nerve is compromised. If the nerve suffers too long without proper oxygen and nutrients, vision loss can become permanent. And then there's ALA, the plant-based form of omega-3. It's found in foods like flax seeds, chia seeds, and walnuts. While ALA isn't as potent as DHA and EPA, it's still valuable, especially for people who prefer a plant-based diet. Now here's what matters most. Your body doesn't make omega-3s on its own. You have to get them from food. That means what's on your plate can either feed your eyes or starve them slowly over time. So where do you begin? Some of the best food sources of omega-3s include fatty fish like salmon, sardines, and mackerel, chia seeds, flax seeds, and walnuts, and omega-3 enriched eggs. These are not exotic foods. They're simple, familiar, and surprisingly affordable when used wisely. And there's one more way to maximize their benefit. Combine them with antioxidant-rich fruits and vegetables. When omega-3s and antioxidants work together, they help protect your eyes from oxidative damage, the kind that slowly clouds your vision and wears down the nerve endings. One of my patients, George, age 72, started eating salmon twice a week and adding a tablespoon of ground flaxseed to his morning oatmeal. 6 months later, during his follow-up eye exam, his intraocular pressure had improved. He told me, "I didn't expect much, but now I feel like I'm actually doing something to protect my eyes. That gives me peace of mind." That peace of mind matters especially when the threat is silent and slow, just like vision loss. You don't need fancy pills or expensive treatments to support your retina. You need consistency. A few fish meals per week, a handful of nuts, a daily sprinkle of flax or chia. It's not about doing everything perfectly. It's about doing something regularly, because small efforts done with care build up to big protection. There's something many people overlook when thinking about eye health. Your eyes don't work alone. They rely on a strong, stable connection with your brain, and that connection runs through a network of tiny, sensitive, and absolutely essential nerves. That's where the B vitamins come in, specifically B6, B9 folate, and B12. These vitamins are like the maintenance crew for your nervous system. They protect the optic nerve, support healthy blood flow, and keep the communication lines between your eyes and brain open and clear. Let's start with vitamin B6. It plays a key role in creating neurotransmitters, chemical messengers that carry signals between your eyes and brain. Without enough B6, those messages can become distorted or delayed. Over time, this can affect how you see and how quickly you process visual information. Do you ever feel like your vision is a little off, or that things aren't as clear as they should be? Next is folate, or vitamin B9. This one helps with DNA repair and cell renewal, especially in the retina, which is constantly exposed to light and oxidative stress. Folate keeps those retinal cells healthy and responsive, reducing the risk of age-related macular degeneration, a common cause of vision loss in seniors. And then there's vitamin B12, the nerve protector. It supports the myelin sheath, the protective covering around nerve fibers. Think of it like insulation on a wire. Without it, signals start to leak or get lost. Low B12 levels have been linked to optic nerve damage, blurred vision, and even permanent vision loss if left untreated. What's especially important to know is this. Deficiencies in these B vitamins are more common with age, especially B12. As the body gets older, it absorbs less of these nutrients from food. That means you can be eating okay and still not getting enough. But the solution is simple. It starts with what's already on your plate. Great sources of B6, B9, and B12 include leafy greens like spinach and kale beans and lentils, eggs, dairy, and fortified cereals, and lean meats and seafood. If you're vegetarian or vegan, fortified plant-based milks and cereals can help close the gap. And for those with known absorption issues, supplements may be needed, but only under guidance from a healthcare provider. Here's a helpful tip. When you pair B vitamins with vitamin C-rich foods, your body can absorb and use them more effectively. Try combining leafy greens with a squeeze of lemon, or add bell peppers to a bean salad. These small tweaks make a real difference. One of my patients, Linda, 68 years old, and living with early-stage macular degeneration, started including more folate and B12 in her diet after our conversation. We didn't overhaul her lifestyle, just a few changes: more spinach, more eggs, and a fortified multivitamin. 3 months later, she told me, "My eyes feel more awake. I'm reading again without strain." That's not a miracle. That's nutrition doing what it's meant to do. Because when you give your body the right building blocks, it doesn't need magic. It just needs time and consistency. If you're over 60, tired eyes and blurry vision aren't just normal aging, they might be your nerves asking for help. And the B vitamins, they're a powerful way to answer that call. When we talk about aging and vision, one of the biggest culprits is something called oxidative stress. Over time, it wears down the cells in your eyes, especially the lens, and slowly steals away your clarity. That's where vitamin E comes in. Vitamin E is one of the most powerful fat-soluble antioxidants in the human body. Its main job is to protect your cells from damage caused by free radicals, those unstable molecules that build up from things like sunlight pollution, smoking, and even normal aging. In your eyes, free radicals attack the lens, causing it to become cloudy over time. That's how cataracts begin. And research shows that people with lower levels of vitamin E are more likely to develop cataracts earlier. But when you have enough vitamin E in your system, it helps protect the cell membranes in the lens and retina. It keeps those tissues strong, elastic, and functioning like they're supposed to, helping you see clearly even as the years pass. Now here's what makes this vitamin special. It doesn't work loudly. You don't feel it immediately. But over months and years, it acts like a silent shield, absorbing the damage, so your vision doesn't have to. One key group of compounds in vitamin E are called tocopherols. They're especially good at stabilizing cell membranes, which means the structures in your eyes stay healthier longer. When tocopherols are low, your eyes are more vulnerable to oxidative stress, and that stress speeds up aging inside your vision. So where can you get more of this protective nutrient? Some of the best natural sources of vitamin E include almonds and sunflower seeds, hazelnuts, peanuts and wheat germ, and spinach. Broccoli and avocado. These are everyday foods, nothing exotic. You can sprinkle sunflower seeds into your salad snack on a handful of almonds, or blend spinach into a smoothie. But here's something important to remember. Vitamin E is fat-soluble, just like vitamin A. That means your body absorbs it best when it's eaten with healthy fats. So pairing it with avocado olive oil or a bit of nut butter is a smart and simple strategy. I once worked with a gentleman named Henry, 73 years old, who had early-stage cataracts and wanted to do everything he could to slow their progression. He started adding more spinach nuts and olive oil to his meals. Not drastic changes, just consistent ones. When we met again 6 months later, his eye exam showed no further progression. He smiled and said, "I didn't expect a miracle. I just wanted to feel like I was fighting back." And he was. Sometimes that's all we need. The feeling that we're doing something, that we're not just letting age have its way with us. Vitamin E doesn't reverse cataracts, but it can help you hold the line slow. The process protect the lens and give your eyes the defense they deserve. And that kind of steady, quiet protection, it adds up over time. If there's one vitamin most people recognize, it's probably vitamin C. But what many don't realize is just how much this simple nutrient does for your eyes, especially as you age. Yes, vitamin C is well known for supporting the immune system, but in your eyes, it serves an entirely different and crucial role. Protection. Vitamin C is one of the most powerful antioxidants we have. That means it helps fight off unstable molecules called free radicals that cause damage to the cells of the eye. Over time, this kind of damage can cloud the lens, harm the retina, and speed up the development of cataracts and glaucoma. Have you ever noticed your vision getting cloudier or hazier? The lens of your eye is made mostly of water and proteins. It's crystal clear when you're young. But with age, and especially under stress from poor diet, smoking pollution, or diabetes, that lens begins to oxidize. It gets cloudy. That's a cataract forming. Vitamin C works like a shield. It slows down that oxidative damage, helping you maintain clarity longer. But that's not all. Vitamin C is also essential for the production of collagen, a protein that provides structure and strength to the tissues of your eyes. Think of collagen as the scaffolding that keeps everything in place and functioning well from the cornea to the retina. So when you're getting enough vitamin C, you're not just fighting damage, you're actively repairing and reinforcing the structures that hold your vision together. Now the good news is that getting more of this vitamin isn't hard. You'll find excellent sources of vitamin C in everyday foods like oranges, grapefruits, and lemons, strawberries and kiwis and bell peppers and broccoli. These are fresh, colorful, and affordable. Many of these can be added easily to breakfast or lunch. A glass of orange juice, a handful of berries, a few slices of bell pepper with your sandwich. And here's something worth remembering. Vitamin C doesn't work alone. When paired with other antioxidants like vitamin E, the combined effects are even stronger. That's why I often suggest making meals that combine both. For example, a spinach salad with vitamin E topped with strawberries or orange slices with vitamin C. It's simple, delicious, and protective. For older adults, the recommended daily intake of vitamin C is around 75 to 90 milligrams. But if you're managing chronic conditions like diabetes, or if you're healing from surgery or illness, your body may need even more. I had one patient, Roger, age 70, who began adding citrus and bell peppers to his meals after his eye pressure started creeping up. He wasn't ready for medications and wanted to try nutrition first. At his next checkup, the pressure had stabilized. He told me it was the first time I felt like food could actually do something. It can. When you give your body what it needs, your eyes will thank you for years to come. You've probably heard that carrots are good for your eyes. That's not just an old saying. It's rooted in real science, and the key reason behind it is vitamin A. This vitamin is absolutely essential for night vision and the overall health of your retina. Without it, your eyes struggle to adjust in low light. That's why one of the earliest signs of vitamin A deficiency is trouble seeing in the dark. Do you find yourself hesitating when driving at night or reaching for the light switch more often than you used to? But night blindness is just the beginning. Over time, low levels of vitamin A can increase your risk of cataracts, the clouding of the eye's lens, and even more serious conditions like macular degeneration, which can lead to permanent central vision loss. Here's how it works. Inside your retina, there's a protein called rhodopsin. It's responsible for helping your eyes detect light and motion, especially in dim environments. But rhodopsin can't function without enough vitamin A. Think of it like trying to power a light bulb with a weak battery. It just doesn't work the way it should. Beyond rhodopsin, vitamin A also plays a major role in reducing oxidative stress in the eyes. Just like we talked about with vitamin C, oxidative stress is what happens when free radicals, unstable molecules, start damaging cells faster than your body can repair them. In your eyes, that damage adds up quickly. But vitamin A helps neutralize those free radicals, keeping your retinal cells stronger longer. That's especially important if you have diabetes, since high blood sugar accelerates oxidative damage in the eyes. So how do you get more of this vitamin? Some of the best sources include carrots, sweet potatoes, and butternut squash, spinach, kale, and other leafy greens, and animal sources like beef liver, eggs, and dairy. These foods contain either beta-carotene, which your body converts into vitamin A, or preformed vitamin A, which is ready for use. Both are valuable. But there's a key tip here. Vitamin A is fat-soluble, meaning your body absorbs it better when it's eaten with healthy fats. So instead of just steaming vegetables, try sautéing them lightly in olive oil or add a few slices of avocado to your salad. It's a small adjustment that makes a big difference. Most adults need around 700 to 900 micrograms of vitamin A daily. And no, you don't need supplements unless your doctor says so. For most people, the right foods can easily meet this need. I remember one patient, Donna, 66, who came in complaining that her vision always felt worse at night. She had stopped driving after sunset. When we checked her diet, it was low in colorful vegetables and healthy fats. We made some simple changes, added roasted carrots, eggs, and olive oil to her weekly meals. 3 months later, she told me, "I feel safer again. I'm not afraid to walk outside in the evening." That's the kind of impact real nutrition can have. Vitamin A doesn't just help you see better, it helps you feel more confident, more independent, and more in control. And at this stage of life, those feelings matter just as much as the science. If you're still watching at this point, I just want to say thank you. It means you care about your health. You care about your future. And that matters more than you know. We've covered a lot in this video. From vitamins D, E, and A to B vitamins and C, each one plays a unique role in protecting your vision. But together, they form something powerful. A simple natural defense against cataracts, glaucoma, and age-related vision loss. This isn't about perfection. It's not about changing your entire lifestyle overnight. It's about small daily steps that build real protection over time. So here's your plan. In the morning, start with something rich in vitamin C, a citrus fruit berries, or a few slices of bell pepper with breakfast. At lunch or dinner, try to include leafy greens for B vitamins and vitamin A. Add a source of healthy fat like avocado nuts or olive oil to help your body absorb those nutrients better. Once or twice a week, enjoy fatty fish like salmon for omega-3s. And don't forget eggs or fortified foods for vitamin D. And if sunshine is available where you live, step outside and let your skin do its job. Just 15 minutes can make a difference. These aren't difficult steps. They're doable, and they're worth it. I've seen patients reclaim confidence, improve eye pressure, and simply feel more in control just by committing to this kind of routine. Not because they were trying to be perfect, but because they were willing to begin. And maybe that's you today. If you're someone who's been worried about your vision, if you've seen a loved one lose theirs, if you've felt helpless watching the world grow dimmer, please know this. It's not too late. You are not too old, and you are not alone. Your body still listens. Your eyes still respond. And the choices you make today can absolutely shape what you see tomorrow. So let's keep this going. Leave a comment below and let me know which of these vitamins or tips surprised you most or which one you're going to try first. If this video helped you, please like it, share it with someone you care about, and subscribe for more honest, practical health advice made just for you. You deserve to see this world clearly for as long as you're in it. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.